Hey friends, it's Mickey here, and at long last, we finally are getting to part 3 of the United District, which is my tribe. So I'm super excited. These buildings, I'm pretty proud of them. First off, we're going to stop at Fire's base, which he calls the Castle of Doom currently. So we are over here, way on the east. Hi, Fire. Built this castle all by himself after I helped him learn a little bit on how to do elevated builds and circle builds. It's kind of complicated until you learn how to do it, and then it feels easy. So Fire's going to take us around and show us his castle. It's a farmer's castle. It's everything you need. Plenty of ACs. At least 3 of everything. Because who needs storage when you can have multiple smithies and fabricators? I did chronicle a lot of the tames that were over here just because we haven't been able to be as active, and I'm on the west side, so flying over, hi Maury, to make sure that all the tames are good, I got kind of concerned. So I chronicled a few so I wouldn't have to worry about feeding them as often. Come over here, a couple candy platforms where you have extra space, keep the tames safe. I like the look of the fencing. It's nice and open, gives plenty of light. A little hidden dungeon under there. Hiding things under the steps. Fire's really good at hiding things in any nooks and crannies possible. I like the way those trees look and outline it. It makes it look really beautiful. I think I lost Fire. Where'd he go? I feel like I just saw his name. Fire, where are you? Maybe come back over here. Oh, there he is. Through the trees. Short and sweet, that's Fire's base. Looks super nice. Thanks for showing it off, Fire. Head on over here to the volcano. I'm so happy that volcano building's allowed. It drives me mad. Like, I understand, but it drives me mad when I can't build at a volcano. And all the volcanoes accessible on the rim too, so in case you ever fall off and don't have your flyer on you, you can run around the rim. I forgot to show off the dragon's platform in the last video. Oops. So come here, and I made kind of a little trade store. So there's a bunch of signs. I like to label things. I label a lot of things, so this trade store, the way I was going to have it work was I put notes in, so like on instructions on how to use the trade store, and then I've labeled everything for me to make it easier to organize things. This is basically currently just used as secondary storage since I hoard everything and I don't toss anything out, because you never know when you're going to need more. You never know if you're going to die and need duplicates. You never know when you're going to get a better blueprint or a worse blueprint. So I kind of just put everything here. That way it's nice and safe and it's out of the way, really. I want to color code all this later. Make it pretty and rainbow. I love stacking things with catwalks. It's been the best thing ever. I've got a bunch of metal taps that are unlocked too in case you get thirsty. So I have a bunch of gardening stuff themed over here. crafted irrigation blueprints, compost bins, crop plots, recipe books. I'm going to put a bunch of recipes in there. Fertilizer, refertilizer, and then, of course, the grocery store. Deli meats and eggs. And, of course, like I said before, I go label happy. Shelf-stable foods. These are a little bit harder to see. Top shelf liquor, so you got your beer. If you want to drop off anything to the store, you can do so here. You can donate them. I'll sort it all and put it away. There's extra notes because you can also order from other players. Because if you don't have the engram for something, or if you don't have the archetype for it, everyone's happy to trade, barter. There's Macaw and Glowstick. I talked about Macaw before too. Glowstick was one of my babies on another server, and Arb was nice enough to basically clone her for me because I missed her very much. And here's my breed barn. This has since been torn down, so I kind of miss it, but it didn't work, and I showed that in a previous video too. So I'm not going to spend too much time here. I'm excited for all the changes that I made. But yeah, this building in its entirety is now gone. I'll miss the layout, but elevated floors do not work well for breeding. In theory, it was great. I loved this area. I like all the greenhouse and the lights. I had multiple generators running before I found out that there's a generator glitch to where you don't need to keep putting gas in it. It occasionally would run out and shut off during PvP, but otherwise when it's PvE, if it's out, it's still on as long as you don't mess with the generator. I probably could have tweaked it to get things to actually work well. I just didn't really want to mess with it too much. I was tired of wasting time and materials just in case it wouldn't end up working. Head on over here to the main building. Now this one has changed, but not as drastically. So a lot of this is still the same here. It's still super open here. I've got my tannery there. I built a kitchen over here. I'm excited to show what I've done with it. I just haven't finished all of it yet. Head on up to my bedroom. It's still the same. It's still really open and I don't mind it. I like it open, but it also feels like wasted space, but I don't know what else to do, really. Got my elevated trough still. All the griffins cluttered. I'm very happy that I've changed this because this did not work for these bigger tames. It did not work at all. I wish it would have, but I just couldn't organize it right. I keep getting stuck on you. You're awful. Head on upstairs. Roof access. Hidden electrical, of course, since I hate cables. I always have to have a skylight. Always. I feel like it's necessary. Ended up taking out the hatch and knocked down like half of this building just because I could not get the ceiling right. I love Eerie turrets. I love them. They're a lifesaver. Not having to check on ammo is great. It says that they have less range, but I haven't really noticed an issue with that. Otherwise, I've done my best with this one to make it prettier. Can't wait to show it done. My main area, though, I also have a community build there. And I actually made a couple of signs in a couple of different areas. So if you see the bright yellow signs, public rest area. So we're about here on the river. So we're going to follow that sign. This area isn't too bad on foot. You're going to have the occasional raptor. It's another sign. Keep going. There's always a few theries or challies, but you can usually run past them pretty well. Well, let's just fly past that nonsense. Not right now. Not today, raptor. All right, and we are to my main base. No PvP zone. So this is definitely one of the protected areas just because I don't do PvP, and community areas should always be no PvP zones. And this is the United Rest area. Everything here is unlocked for public use. If you need anything, this is a good rest area for you. Don't take more than what you need if you can contribute. I love that. You can place sleeping bags anywhere in this area. Got a fridge full of eggs and stuff to snack on. Do a pretty good job with keeping that full. Extra clothes and armor. Other random extras. I mean, I might as well show you what's in here. Plenty of spare clothes. Nothing fancy. Just enough to get the job done. Got a forge. Fab smithy. And then mortar and pestle, of course. I try to keep it stocked, full of stuff, full of mats. ARPS helped out filling it with mats too. Troughs are unlocked too, and I keep those full. This whole area is just full of unlocked troughs. And then this one is the Community Revival Platform. I designed it originally to have greenhouse glass and hopefully protect it. It did not work. I Revival tamed a Sarco and it broke most of the glass, so the glass does not work. But there's plenty of little hidey holes to keep you a little bit better protected. All of the gates are unlocked. I was hoping that the door frames would protect the glass. It was not enough. But it still looks nice. We'll see how long the rest of the glass works, but the metal seems to work out well. So now that we've seen the two public areas, I can show you my actual main base. I've made so many changes to this one so many different times, and I think I'm finally content with how it works. Got my original Rex pair, original Bronto pair. Different areas to drop off things because everybody swaps things with each other. There's a explorer note there. Try to make it fun, calling it a historical site. I like color, so I do a bunch of that, and I went with the royal for most everything. I've elevated the electrical cables, of course. Got a bunch of different areas in this one to cover. And I've tried to make it compact. I tend to overly build big. And then this area is my kitchen and library. I have a house under this, or bedroom under the stairs, kind of like Harry Potter. So I've got my storage for my personal stuff. Everyone kind of has like their own personal storage spaces everywhere. It's always good to have that, even if you're in a tribe, even if you're in like a tribe build. It's good to have personal storage spaces. So everything you need for your kitchen. Whenever I get full on eggs, I make a bunch of kibble. I just made some recently. Need to make more already, but I'm waiting on more prime jerky. And it's going to sound sad, but this is my favorite part of this build because you should always put your Phiomia on either an elevated spot with a ramp, ceiling sloped, or stairs. Okay, I don't have any stems, so get those. because this is why. You can force feed. Everyone knows you can force feed and make a Phiomia poop all over. But if you force feed a bunch at a time, when it's on flat ground, they just pile up. But now they're in a nice, neat line, and you can just pick them up leisurely. And they're not all over, and they're not flying everywhere, and they're not under. They just all roll right down, and it's perfect. It's great when you have to fill up compost bins and dung beetles all the time. And here's the Tiny Tame apartments. So I've got lystros, dodos, dung beetles. Here's my little lystros. Another door to go outside. Everybody here. Of course, I'm going to pick up all of the poop because I need it all because my greenhouse is too large. I love my eggs. Eggs and poop. I will forever collect eggs and poop. Can't help it. Got my Avies helping me out there. Okay, yeah, one of these oviraptors changed colors because I noticed it today because one got loose and its colors are definitely different than what they are now. I am confused. Okay, back up to the Tiny Tame apartments because the spiral staircase only went one way. My pretty blue dodo from Shadow. Head on over here. Everyone makes dodos big, but tell me why not everyone makes dodos small. You can make them small, guys, and then you can have a little parrot on your shoulder. It's the best. I love my tiny dodos. I love shoulder dodos. Come on, guys. Get on the shoulder dodo train. Hop on over. Let's head on up to the library. Keeping all my blueprints out of the way. It's actually worked out better than what I expected it to, because you can still reach everything really well on the catwalks. I thought I'd fall off all the time on the catwalks. I really don't, so it's great. More poop. Got a couple compost bins over here. Unicorns poop almost as much as a Phiomia. Yeah, just a couple compost bins. Got my greeting duo over there. And now to the greenhouse. So this is also where I have all of my fridges. I have one for each berry, and then of course one for flowers. Fertilizer and seeds. And my greenhouse. I recently had to get rid of a lot of my flowers just because I can't keep up on the amount of fertilizer needed. But I have one of everything. So many water taps. I mean, I really did not need that many, but I think it looks nice. It's kind of like a sprinkler system, honestly. A couple more compost bins. Hopefully I can catch up on fertilizer and I won't need that many. Head on upstairs. I have a couple water tanks. Just a couple. And of course, more skylights up here too. Then if we head back down, more hidden storage for all of my dyes and other things that I don't access that often. Like dodo feathers. You really don't have that much of a use for dodo feathers. And yeah, this was my pride and joy, my main base. It's nice and simple, but it's pretty great, I think. So I want to thank everyone that's stayed for all three parts of this little mini series here. I'm looking forward to learning more about YouTube and streaming in general, and then of course getting on a better schedule too, because I think that would be nice. And hopefully we'll be able to open up the server soon. That way we can play with everyone and have a great time. So thank you everyone on this server. Thank you everyone for watching. This has been a fun mini series to film. And with that, I say goodbye. See you later.